how to achieve a cohesive home exterior that matches your interior style. I'll be breaking down everything you need to consider when it comes to choosing exterior materials and colours for your home. I'm Lucy.
And I'm Jono.
And this is Reno Goals. Here we go again.
The never-ending series.
Woo! We are DIY renovators, and so far we have transformed an Art Deco apartment, an Edwardian home, a coastal beach house, and now we're attempting to create our very own dream home away from the city.
She is just waiting for a makeover.
But we're a long way from living the dream right now. It's been quite the journey.
I was just looking at this lovely shower head that's being held up with a piece of wire.
We've made some big structural improvements.
So I reckon it's going to be really good.
And transformed some of the interiors of our home.
I think it's going to look sick.
But we are now turning our attention towards our very neglected exterior, and we're taking you along with us every step of the way. We are finally getting around to fixing our cabin's exterior. We have spent a lot of time fixing up the interiors of the cabin. In fact, we're not done yet. There's still lots more to do, but it is definitely time for us to bring our cabin exterior up to scratch. We've been here for quite a few years now, and during that time, we've actually found out quite a lot about this home. We've had a lot of local community members coming up to us and sharing stories that they have from the home. There's been wedding photos that were taken in the garden. We've heard stories from the original family, and we were even given clippings from when this house actually featured in a magazine. It's quite famous. There is a lot of history and character to this home, and to be honest with you, that's why we bought it. However, I will admit, on more than several occasions during the renovation, Jono and I have commented that it probably would have been easier to knock it down and start again, but that is not in our nature, and especially now that we've heard from the local community, we really do want to retain the history and charm of this home. That being said, the exterior at the moment is a disaster. It is quite literally rotting away in sections. Jono has had to do patch-up jobs as a temporary fix, and it is in no way airtight as we have wildlife currently living in our roof. So it desperately needs a makeover, not only from a functionality point of view, but aesthetically it needs to match our warm and inviting interiors. So we are doing things a little bit backwards because we're thinking about how we take our interior design vision outside in order to create a cohesive exterior. We have already built our shed, and this is fairly close proximity to the house, and this features Colorbond steel in woodland grey. And down the track we will be bringing in additional timber elements to the west side of the shed that directly faces the cabin. I want the cabin to be connected to the shed quite literally through pathways and landscaping, but I also want the cabin exterior to feel connected aesthetically while still identifying a slight separation. And I want to do this by introducing a secondary colour. There were a few key factors that helped guide my colour choice. Now, while your exterior is not directly related to your interior, it is important if you want to create a cohesive aesthetic outside and in to consider what you have internally. So these are the colours that feature in the cabin at the moment. As you can see, very earthy tones, beautiful deep greens, earthy browns, and these warm neutrals. We also have a lot of timber in our home as well. We have timber ceilings, spottergum flooring, black butt windows and doors. So it's very timber rich. Black butt timber is an element I need to consider when it comes to choosing these exterior colours. The other element I need to consider is the colour of our shed, which is Colorbond steel woodland grey. So whatever colour I choose for the house needs to complement that. The environment, I mean, we're surrounded by so many wonderful gum trees, and look, we don't have a beautiful garden at the moment, not like back in 1983. Anyway, but hopefully soon we will have beautiful Australian natives surrounding our house. These are the three colours I was gravitating towards. Wallaby is quite an earthy colour. It's very grounding. I also like the way it complements with woodland grey. With the gully, I was actually really surprised by this colour. I didn't expect to like it as much as I do, but I really like that green undertone. It was inspired by river stones and pebbles. So I like the fact that it has a connection with the ocean. It would have been a simple decision if if I went with woodland grey because we have already chosen that for our shed colour. Nothing wrong with choosing the same colour for your house and your shed. However, for me, I really wanted to create a little bit of subtle separation between the two buildings, the house and the shed. So for me, whilst I need to complement with woodland grey, I'm not going to be selecting that for my main colour. It really came down to wallaby and gully. And can you guess which one I chose? Go on, guess. I chose gully. I am really happy with this decision. I think it works beautifully with woodland grey. They both do. But for me, it really came down to the fact that it was a slightly lighter tone. I loved the contrast there. And then when it comes to the rest of the factors that I was considering, it just made sense. This is my final selection and I'm really happy with these colours, but I must say when it comes to finalising colours for your project, I have two very big tips for you. First of all, whilst I've created a very beautiful flat lay to show you what's going on with both the interior and exterior of this project, you need to go outside. Take your samples outside with you and really see them in the environment. Make sure you order Colorbond steel swatches so you can actually put them in the environment, put them outside, look at them at different times of day. Make sure you look at your samples in different sides of the home and at different times of the day because that will really impact how the colour looks within your environment. Number two, use a visualizer. So Colorbond have a really great visualizer on their website where you can select a house design that is similar to yours. So for me, I chose the bower, and from there you can select and change different areas of the house from your roof color to your wall cladding, and you can change your window trims, the lot. It's very helpful to do this when exploring how you will incorporate different materials, and it's not just limited to Colorbond product either. They've included a great range of timber and painted finishes so you can see how your ideas come together. The other big thing you need to consider when it comes to choosing Colorbond steel is your profile. Now, profiles I think are just as important as your color selection. For example, I really like the defined modern lines of the standing seam profiles. However, I feel like they're just a bit too contemporary for this cabin, and I really want to honor the history and charm of this original build. So that is why I am choosing this corrugated profile. I'm also seeing more and more corrugated profiles being used on modern homes. I think it's quite a soft profile, it's slightly understated, and it has a certain charm that can absolutely still be treated in a modern way. I hope you found this video helpful when it comes to considering your exterior design, especially if you've already established your interior design style. If you are considering choosing Colorbond steel for your next project, make sure it is genuine Colorbond steel. If you're unsure, head to colorbond.com to find your local supplier. A very big thank you to Colorbond Steel for helping to make this episode possible. Be sure to keep following along as we share the rest of our cabin progress.